Okay. Yeah, you had turned off the recording. Like what?
Yeah.
That'll work better.
All right. So there you are, drinking your lunch.
I'm drinking my lunch, so everyone can see me
Yes.
drinking my wonderful tasting lunch.
Drinking the coffee. Cheers.
Actually, well, yeah, this is
Both
like
brown.
my organic plant-based protein thing.
Are you sure you're not Californian?
And I'm just Philippine. No, I'm not Philippine because that would be a real thing. That's just my first name.
Oh.
Dang, I started saying it in my head and then I kept talking. I was like, nope. That's not going to work with my name. Darn it. Well, that gets my name out there is Philip. And so are we talking about lighting today then?
We're going to do a mixture because,
a mixture. Wait, I might have something about that. Wait, there we go.
Oh, hey, that's one way to cause a seizure.
Yes, it is. Sorry for those out there that saw that. I'm turning that off right now. It's my favorite ring light. It's the one that stays in my room.
Oh. Just a little party at your
party light. Yeah,
light.
I love it.
I still love these Apple reaction things, and where you get your
They don't always work. Yeah, I know. But yeah, there you go.
My tube.
You're supposed to. There you go. There it goes.
Oh my God. I love those things. I think I love those things too much. So, and also if you see some like smoke, that's just the humidifier. Just
I hear nothing.
Diffusion.
Oh, seeing it. Okay, I don't hear it.
Yeah, it's like in the bottom of the corner, so nothing is burning.
Perfect.
Not in the kitchen.
And I'm going to change my microphone just slightly, which you shouldn't hear a difference. I'm changing it to the mic only in case I accidentally decide to lean on my piano so that now you don't hear it. Only I hear it. There.
Oh, also, guess what I have now functioning? Wait for it. So last week we were talking about web cameras, right? We were talking about webcams. We were talking about DSLR, and we were showing some of our cameras. And even though like when I teach right now, I'm using my FaceTime camera on my iMac. Is that I also use a DSLR when I'm filming my courses. So let me show you guys.
Yay. Yeah. See, it can zoom better. It's just, it does a lot better job of focusing on you.
I know. And talk about
and you can
like clears me up and makes me look special.
Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah. And one thing that we did also mention about what we did not mention last week about webcams was the position. Like
I have and I'll have a story on that too when you're done with yours.
So, mind you, my husband is a photographer and a videographer. So trust me when I say this, he has nagged me many a times during our dating journey to all the way through our marriage journey. Always have your camera above your head, pointing down at an angle to the point where it's almost like just above like eye level, so you almost feel like you're looking up in essence.
Yes.
Because one, we all know that the camera adds 10 pounds.
I was just say above you makes you look skinnier than the camera normally does.
It's all your better angle.
Automatic. Yeah.
And because if you do it like right in front of you, so I have a standing desk.
Yeah.
So
I used to do that. I used to have it right in front of me and it was really weird. So then I put it above me. I was like, wait, now it actually looks more natural on the screen.
Yeah. So this is me like directly like to my camera, but still that FaceTime camera is like right above me still. And then going on to the webcams. I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. Logitech. There you go. And then you have some.
Then there's here what looks like incense.
There.
Yes.
This session's going to be on fire, guys.
Yes, over in California, you do need that. That's something. That's something to talk about. It's like, what do you do if you are a either a language teacher, a voice teacher, whatever, where you need your voice to keep working. Take care of the humidity in your room. I live in Florida, so humidity doesn't go below like 45% in here ever, and that's with the air conditioning blasting. So I don't worry about it so much.
Yeah, you there's pros and cons to that. The con is like if you have curly hair, I mean, we're gonna end up like
Mhm.
Mufasa. Um, but but yes, it's true. Humidity, it really does help the voice. But like
Mhm.
if you're like me, I'm gonna go back to my FaceTime here.
Yep.
Or should I go to my cam link? I'm just gonna go to my cam link. But then I want people to see my Pikachus.
I see. I was going to mention all the Pikachus actually. I like it. I love them.
Yeah.
My wife has a Mew and it stays in the car and it always goes in the car. And when we get a new car, it goes in that car and it sits in the corner right in front of the driver. It gets Velcroed. So all of its color is gone. It's basically a completely white Mew now.
Hey,
But
you know what? There's many a muse.
it's going to be one of these days. So I am Philip. Well, let's see. What did I say I was?
You're
I can't remember. I didn't say Filipino. I said Philip something. I don't remember what I said now, which just means my brain is definitely not working. We had this chat yesterday. So,
like I whenever I have those brain days and I'm having those as well today as well, I say, dude, okay, listen, heads up, my brain is out of order. It is not
mhm.
functioning at all. There's the sign right there.
But we get there. So, I mean, yes. And she's not the only one that has like stuffed animals all over the place. I can show you really quick. They are all up there.
Hey.
There's lots of things. There's Crazy Chicken, which you can see in the middle of the screen right now, which was named by some students.
Oh, there you go.
I
Dog
I'm
with punching bags or punching bags.
Those are little
With
hearts.
boxing gloves.
It looks like it, but they're little hearts on his
Oh,
paws.
oh.
And then there's a hydra next to him with feathers sticking out of its mouth. And then a bunch of my little teaching animals that I used to use when I taught in person. Of course, a book. I don't know why I put a book up there. A gnome.
Space.
It's a that is a Halloween gnome. And then some other animals. A couple of dragons, a red dragon and a blue dragon,
Dragons.
and then over here in my really messy area is the bat and dog toy.
Oh yeah, I think you showed us that. I
Yes.
love it that you have a Nespresso or a Keurig in your office.
Yeah, the Nespresso is awesome, except that I've been going on this mushroom coffee kick thing, which is bugging me. So I haven't used my Nespresso in like months now,
Well,
but bugging me.
oh.
Nespresso, I absolutely love Nespresso. It's expensive, but it's not as expensive as my mushroom coffee. I will say
Well, you're
that.
paying for the quality. I mean, one
I
thing
am.
I have to
Nespresso is
give for
awesome.
Nespresso is that over Keurig, which I mean, I love Keurig too. Um, is that I will say Nespresso has better quality in comparison, but Keurigs they do have
Yeah.
more options.
Nestle has quality control that they basically just don't allow other people to have a part in it. Even when Starbucks does it, Nestle says, because Nestle owns espresso, why they're called Nespresso. Nestle's like, yeah, okay, Starbucks, you can use our product, but it has to go exactly like this. And your product has to taste exactly the same every single cup. You can't vary. Where Keurig's like, hey, you want to make a cup to put in our product? Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Because they've been around since the 90s. So
They have.
anyway,
Yeah.
so let's see.
I'm fingers crossed I'm gonna get myself
Mhm.
one of those single like Nespresso cups for my desk.
Mhm.
Cause I mean, as you guys can
Oh, and there are two different kinds of Nespresso there. This is the Nespresso
coffee set.
The duo one that does like the large cups. These traditional Nespresso only does espresso,
Oh, oh, that's
which
cool.
you can still get both. And the traditional one is a little cheaper. And it's interesting. So in an espresso,
I can only face your I can only see your piano.
oh my gosh.
So I'm
Just
just like the way
tell,
I'm seeing your
yeah,
face is like
doesn't
very
everybody just
pleasant,
want to see my fingers? Like
And
it's gonna be an ASL lesson, and I don't know any ASL, so it's just gonna be me going like, not
I
gonna
love
work.
how this has been like show and tell. Like, look at the Pikachus and
Darn
look at my
it.
stuffed
Yes.
animals. Nespresso.
So let's go to what
Rain
people might
days.
want to hear about
Telling you.
is lighting and how you teach, whether asynchronous or synchronous, which would be, the interesting words. I like using interesting words.
Yes, all the interesting words and also important words, especially if you are a person who wants to teach online or improve in teaching online.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like for me, if you want to go into online teaching, we do want to know about both.
We do. And
So,
I personally have been just doing synchronous teaching and considering doing asynchronous teaching because I don't really consider my YouTube channel to be um, the kind of asynchronous teaching that I want to do in the long run, but it's still nice to do. I want to
mhm.
go beyond that into something bigger, not necessarily a Udemy course because there's 5 zillion of them out there. And I don't need to create one more. I want to create one more that goes on my website. And there are ways of doing that. We can talk about that today.
Yeah, we'll definitely we're definitely going to need to talk on that.
There's the expensive Kajabi way for people who make lots of money. And then there's the cheap Kajabi knockoffs that you start with until you make money.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, but I will say some of the alternatives are actually not bad. It
Yeah, we've
depends,
been testing one.
depends, what you're looking for.
Yeah.
But again, like that's a whole episode on its own. That's a
Oh, it is.
whole
There's one we've been
that's
testing that for I think less than $40, you get unlimited lifetime everything. And you're just like, and my wife's been testing it and it does work.
hey, you got to send
No,
me that
it's a
one.
lot less user friendly. Where Kajabi, if you have a problem, it just fixes it for you and
Yeah.
does it. Like someone I follow, not a musician person, not a teacher person, but I follow he uses Kajabi and it's great. Oh, look at the
This is my okay. So
speakers.
speaking
Mhm.
of, so I'm using my iPhone here. So
And
hey,
there I am.
yep. Don't worry about the stickers. Sound panels came off, so I just like removed them.
Hmm.
But hold on. I wish I can zoom out here, but I don't know how to.
And we'll probably have a whole thing on sound panels and how useful or useless they might be depending on what you need them for.
Yeah. So these are my again El Gato lights.
Or cat
I
lights.
love
Yes.
these. I know it's called El Gato. Sorry, El Gato. I mean El
That's
Gato.
because she has a photographer husband, though, by the way, everyone. That's because,
Well,
now
actually,
she
I
has.
chose this because there was a time in where all right, I'm gonna go ahead and switch off here. No, wrong light, wrong light. Oh wait, you guys can see my mistakes now. Hey.
No. Okay.
Um I actually chose these because when when I was getting really busy and getting like higher end clients, I needed more of a professional setup. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Which just to show the light that I was using, and I just have one off to the side, and I just use this because I can move it quite easily. And this time I will make sure to. Yeah, that's my air purifier. That is not the light. Trying to move this cable, so let me move it. Is here. This is my ring light.
Oh, is that
It,
the UBs? UB
I
side?
think it is. Oh wait, what's the name of this one? No. This one's a Wii light.
A wee light?
WEEYLITE. But it's possible they've changed their name since then.
Okay,
I
because I
should.
remember a mutual company that
It's
we were
a
in, um,
this one right
they
here.
sent me a light. Oh, there you go, wee light.
So it's connected to my phone, of course.
Oh,
So that turned it on and off.
I love it when they do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have so let's quickly talk about like the different lights. Again, kind of like cameras is what you need, like it what you need it for, but also
Yeah.
you have to take into account where your work environment is. Where are your windows?
Yes, absolutely. Because this is an important thing. You see how behind me, you see that blackout curtain? If you have a window behind you, get a blackout curtain.
Yeah.
Period. Just get a blackout curtain.
Yeah.
Even the higher end cameras that can modify based on like the light that's coming from behind you, it still looks better if you just try to take care of that. And you don't have to have blackout curtains. You can get blackout blinds. You can get those
like shut up blinds.
Yes, whatever they're called. I forget what they're called. Not honeycomb. That's not what they're called. But those blinds you can like pull up and down, and they have blackout versions of them. If you really want it to look nice or look different, I don't mind having just a blackout curtain behind me.
I actually have a colleague who's genius. Got one of those green screens, actually, and put them on the light, and and then like she'll what she did was she put like those what are those laces that goes in front of the curtains. And then she'll use it as like a back screen whenever she did like her live videos and such.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a green screen. I have not used it in so long. I don't really have the need for it anymore. Now, something everyone should know is green screens will eventually be obsolete because of technology. You don't need it anymore. You still do need it because the computers that most of us have can't handle what they need to do. And I have a pretty high-end computer, but still it still is harder for it. The great thing about a green screen that they still can't figure out is how to keep all your stuff in the back. So a green screen allows for whatever it sees that's that color turns into the backdrop. So that you keep all of this stuff rather than getting this, which I've blurred it. I'm going to unblur it. Rather than getting this, and it's trying to show my chakra thing on the side. Well,
and you also lost like an inch of your head.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I mean, of course, and I can
great way to reduce head
modify
size,
it, but then you get more of that, and I can try to modify that, and it tries to do auto quality. And this is not Zoom doing it, by the way. Zoom actually does a pretty darn good job of it, but you have less options. So I like to have third-party stuff doing that. Yeah. So a green screen does away with all that. And of course, these don't make it much easier. These do kind of mess it up. But if you have a green screen, it does help a lot with that kind of stuff.
It really, really does. When I travel, and especially for those that are looking into doing course creation and stuff like that, and you're a position that does travel. Speaking of green screens, be right back. Hold on.
She has a green screen. Well, yeah.
I'm not going to because I'm horrible when it comes to holding things, and it will take me an hour.
She can't even hear me doing this.
No, I can't. I could not actually. So one of the things that I have is this. I stick this in my check-in. Does it take space? Yes, it does. But what I love about this is that it's an oval shape. So like when I do have to teach or when I need to cover that bed, no one can see that I'm in a hotel room.
Yeah, and it's easier just to fold it up. See, I was trying to play this, but I forgot that my original sound was off. That's why you couldn't hear it. I missed an opportunity.
And I do have a smaller one that hooks up actually into a chair. I need to find that. It's somewhere in my room.
And I have, interestingly, with like a standard green screen. Now, those kind of green screens are made to stay nice and flat when you unfold them, but a standard green screen does not. It's a piece of cloth. Now,
it can get wrinkled depending on the quality. Yes,
and the thing is, even with high quality ones, what's really interesting is everybody thinks, I just have to iron it. So I tried that. No, that doesn't work. You never and they're like, well, let's just use a steamer. Nope, doesn't work. There's a better way.
It's inconsistent. It's going to take a while, but steamer does actually, ironically, work better than an iron.
Yes, but I've got the number one way to do it. Hot water, spray bottle, soak it down, leave it for an hour. Boom, it's flat. And that's it. It's
Yes.
like perfectly flat. It's absolutely amazing. I
Yeah.
saw someone on YouTube doing this, saying if your green screen isn't like, he was showing a steamer, he's like, this is crap. I'm taking hours doing this and it's not flattening. He was like, watch this. He's like, boil some water, mix it half and half into a big spray bottle, and he's like, spray it until it looks like you just left it out in the rain, and then wait about an hour. It will dry completely flat. I didn't believe him. I did it and it worked. It's amazing. And it was so much easier than using a steamer.
It doesn't take hours. Yeah,
It was weird.
right. But at that point, I stopped using green screens.
So that's the thing is, that's the problem I have with green screen. Once you have it up and you have it flattened, it's okay. But that's about the only way to really get the big creases, the big fold creases, because the steamer won't get those out. You can just have to sit there forever and going, okay, my arm's hurting. Can't do this anymore. It's not working.
And it's like, and two, it's when you have like a clumpy or wrinkly green screen, it's going to make you look unprofessional.
Yeah, because it won't work. The
It's going to
backdrop
deem
won't
you
work.
as quote unquote lazy, even though I know for those that are watching this or listening to this, you guys aren't anything but.
Yeah.
But it's so easy for it to get wrinkled. It's more of a hassle than anything else. Unless if you're like teaching like photography or modeling or something like that. Like Philip said, it's
For most of us, we don't need it. We don't really need to
handy.
have that fancy, unless you have like a room where you don't want people to see what's behind you, but it is what it is. It's a teaching environment.
Yeah, exactly. So when it comes to, and I know we're talking about lighting here, but
Yeah.
green screens and lighting, they actually do go hand in hand. Backdrops
Yes.
go hand in hand. All of your work environment and lighting goes hand in hand. Like this space right here, you can see
Yeah.
like I just have my lighting. I don't have my lights on in my bedroom. I just have my light panels. So, but I have a standing desk. Eventually, I have to figure out how I'm going to cover that part so you guys don't see
So that's the thing about green screens is you think, oh, this size green screen will be fine, and it's usually not. You need enormous. It has to be absolutely enormous if you're doing it like for me, because I use this widescreen. Otherwise, when I don't, I usually have to go, oops, let's do this. Now the green screen's big enough when I have one.
Yeah,
It's the only way. And I have a really large green screen. It takes up way too much room, so I took it down. So not necessary for most of us, but if you really want to hide what's behind you, you can use I forget what that thing is called that's behind you. The
backdrops,
partition-y thing, like foldy partition.
dividers.
Yes, the divider. Thank you. The divider that's behind you. Whatever. English words. Silly English words. The partition-y thingy.
that thingamajig.
Yes.
Also too is what I like one pro about having a green screen, especially if you do teach a foreign language, is when you are showing, like places in Spain, right? Just to kind of like immersify your online class. So that could be a benefit. But in my personal experience, my portable backdrops, they do just that as well. Because even though like mine oval shape, right? It's massive. And it comes either vertical or horizontal, and it just works the same as well. So that'll be only one of the other few pros of still having a green screen, but there's a lot of upkeep to it. And with technology right now, I mean, the green screens are phasing out. So unless if you're teaching, like I said, photography, I quit. Bye.
Yeah.
Photography, videography, modeling, or anything that has to do with film, for a lot of us, we're not going to need it.
Yeah. My green screen is folded up on my shelf. I have a green screen, a white screen, and a black screen, but the white and the black have been used once to try it out and go, yeah, well, that was not useful.
Did it come
And
with
when you
a
are
little?
using a green screen, again, the lighting, this goes back to the lighting. The lighting is extremely important. You have to have enough light and the right kind of light. So the entire green screen you should have at least close to the exact same amount of light. So if you're using one, having lighting like Rosita was showing you, in front of you, having two lights is useful. When I used my green screen, I did have two lights. Right now, I just have one because I don't really need it for the green screen anymore. And so that without that, it can mess up whatever video, whatever digital backdrop you're trying to add. If it sees the wrong color, so if it doesn't see the correct green color, like if the lighting is wrong and it somehow doesn't see it as green, then all of a sudden you've got this blank space behind you.
Yeah. Sorry, I was gonna.
Hmm.
In regards to that, when talking about color, is that so? When it comes to lighting, you have your reds, your yellows, and I forgot this other color. I want to say green,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm
Maybe.
probably most likely thinking of the color spectrum, which also includes red and blues and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, lighting is also going to be important because it also not only just clears your picture all in all, um, sorry, about all in all is also like the shade of it. So when I travel, talk about preparation, right? Um, depending, again, this goes with your work environment, you might have to adjust the shade of the light. We don't want white light. Maybe we need a warm
Mm-hmm.
light. Maybe we need a warmer light. Maybe we need to add like a red filter so it'll match, help for those that have like a paler skin color. I noticed that the lighter color you are, the more reds you guys will need, so you guys can pop out.
Mm-hmm.
For those like with darker skin, we don't need that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll need, again, like at least in my environment, I need just a little bit more of a whiter light, just a hair above like a warm light, but just like one level kind of entering the white light spectrum, just
Yeah.
to for my skin color to pop. Because if you overlight yourself, you're gonna look like, I don't how do I explain
Let me show
this?
you.
An explosion? Like you exploded?
Like what I just turned into, or something like that.
Hold on, I think I can't
It's
see
on the
that.
wrong side.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
have it. I have
yeah.
it off to the side instead of in front of me, which gives an even more better impression of what happens. So I'm like orange over here and I'm like bright white over here. So yeah, I generally don't have it in front of me. I usually have it off to the side so people can see my piano more. That's my whole reason for even having that light. So as you see, I have this turned all the way up to as warm as you can get it. I'll show you what's the word. It's 8,500 right now. So now some lights can actually adjust their warmth.
Yeah.
So I can turn it all the way yellow. Cold, I could just call yellow. So, because it basically turns into a yellow light. Standard like sunlight is 5,200, which is where I have it here, which actually on my lighted side makes me look more natural now. Just by doing that one little thing makes a huge difference. When I have it all the way up too bright, it's not terrible on me, but it's a little much,
You're
sunlight,
washed out.
but I'm washed out. Sunlight and then yellow, which my lights that are in here are kind of yellowish, but it's when I use this, it helps a little bit. And having a light like this, like these, if you just want something cheap, just go for a ring light that you can control with your phone and will change temperatures, change colors, because I can have it actually change to whatever color of the spectrum I would like at any time I want, for the most part. I mean, and the newer ones, this thing is probably 5 years old. I guarantee you the ones now will do even better. Weird purple light. This is like it's just the kind of weird things that it'll be able to do, but it's nice that it can do it. If for some weird reason I need it. And of course, if you saw the weird flashy thing I did at the beginning, yes, they can do scenes as well, but they're kind of unnecessary and just fun to play with.
Yeah, it's usually I like to use it
No.
when like for streaming and stuff.
Mhm.
Which wait, do you have a Twitch? No.
No.
No? Okay.
I
Well,
thought
that's
about it.
me, that's fine.
I thought about it, but I don't have the time or patience to be like to actually even follow anyone on Twitch, much less have my own Twitch channel. I know some people make like really good money using Twitch, and that's one of those good, like somewhere in between synchronous and asynchronous. That's like kind of a combo thing, sort of.
Yeah, I think I like doing Twitch. I'm getting back on it. Because I used to Twitch for like 2 to 4 hours, like every Thursday, and I just couldn't, because I used to teach about, go the differences of the subtitles versus, the audio in anime.
Mm.
And like it was more reacting. I'm like, what? That does not make God, English loves cursing, for the record.
Yeah.
Japanese, they don't really curse, even though so half the time if you see a really bad word in the subtitles, yeah. 50
Which
50.
is really strange. You'd think the subtitles would be more direct translation, but
No.
yeah. But I know they're not
They
always. I
strive
know.
to be. They strive. They strive.
Yeah.
It's different from captions. Captions are a lot worse.
Yeah. So captions are fun, especially if they're being done by like AI just on the fly. And that'll get better as we go. But it's
Even then, there's still gonna be a lot of like inconsistencies, even though you have like AI, or like even a person, because there's a lot of expressions that do not necessarily translate to another language or a word. So like so like a word can present essentially like a whole meaning or a phrase, but that does not translate well to another language.
that's yeah, right. Doesn't.
So, like in Spanish and Japanese, we have this phrase "yoroshiku onegaishimasu." I mean, if you
Of
want to go to a
course.
literal translation, um, it means "please be kind to me," but it not really, because "yoroshiku onegaishimasu," it can be used to say it is a pleasure to meet you. Please, we use it, for like different situations.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I know that. So a lot of my family, I do not. I started learning Hebrew when I was younger, and then I said, nope, this is too hard. And there are a lot of words in Hebrew where I would be told, it's like this one word doesn't really have a good English translation. You can translate anything to English. He's like, but if we want to translate it to one or two words, you're not going to get the right meaning. But if we use a paragraph, we could explain it.
Yep. Yep. Accurate. Accurate.
Yeah, so that's kind of and with the older the language is, going especially something like Hebrew and Mandarin, because those are the two oldest languages in the world, are going to be even harder. So, and then Japanese is a very old language too. So it's like most of the Asian languages are very old, and I say Hebrew is kind of the one off that happens to just be just weirdly ancient. They don't translate to modern languages so easily. So you're right. Yeah, it is odd that they do that. And having something to explain that to people is actually good. So when you're listening to you're watching something on TV, say you're watching a Hallmark movie and they're speaking like a little bit of French, and then they say something and you read the words and you go, pretty sure that's not what that meant.
Yeah.
And you think that's bad because that's from a modern language to another modern language. So imagine going from Japanese to English or Chinese to English.
No, thank you.
Much worse.
Not right now. But with that said, yeah. So
because even if you so I've got a few different like ring lights, and if I set both of them to 5200 Kelvin, they are close, but they may not be exact. So if you want exact, buy the same brand. If you're like me and it's not as big a deal because you're teaching piano, I mean, because it's really not for me. I'm a piano teacher. I just need for them to be able to see what I'm doing. Then go cheap if you want, but still buy the same brands so that you get at least the same lighting, so it doesn't look weird on you. And like so I said, my ring light is usually off to the side, so if I need to light my keyboard a little bit more. So as an example, if I turn my piano teaching camera's on right here. So this actually doesn't look bad. You can actually see the side perfectly fine. Part of that is because this is a Brio over here, so it handles light very well. Weirdly, in the camera, the lighting in the camera is better than it is in real life, oddly, because the camera really is just that good at doing it. It looks like it's bright white. It's actually not. It's like dull yellow right now in my room with shadows.
Yeah, a lot of the times it's like when you have a good webcam, it actually can help you correct lighting for you too. It won't like directly impact like your other like lights, your lamps, but it will help kind of like balance it out.
I'm getting there. I'm going to show like what happens if I want to have a little bit of extra light. Of course, I have it set up here. Just turn that on. And it takes it a second because the camera has to readjust itself. Because the camera's like, what did you just do? You put a light behind me, which is always good. Put the light behind the camera, not in front of the camera, which is why my face looks weird right now because the light is behind the camera. So that's why I only use it if people really need to see a little bit brighter. For some reason, something's just fading out and whatever, I'll use it for that. But for the most part, I can also change the power of the light. So make sure you get a light where if you're doing what I'm doing, get something where you can make it not as bright or make it more bright or change the color or whatever. It's super helpful.
That's why I like having like the lights above you at an angle. So it covers more like surface area. So not only just covers you as an educator, but it can also, like if you're playing instruments, you have that as well. It'll be covered.
Yes, absolutely.
Too. It's like you want your lighting to come from above, like a little, like heaven is shining on you.
Yes, exactly. And of course, the lights that are in my room, unfortunately, when I switched my lights, I'm trying to get flicker-free lighting, which is also really important. The problem is when I got these, I didn't realize these were low Kelvin lights instead of high Kelvin lights, so they're like yellow. But I just went, well, I at first had just some LED lights, and then what I did is I didn't know anything about flicker-free lighting until like last year. When I was trying to do, I was like, ooh, my new phone does like super slow motion. And I was like, this will be cool. And it was just constant flickering. I was like, what causes that? So did my research and was like, it's because your lights aren't very good. I almost said some other words. I'm like, this is a nice podcast. We're not going to use words like that.
PG-13.
We're going to keep it PG-13. Although today, PG-13, like, what is it, like that Weekend at Freddy's movie is somehow PG-13? I'm like, I'm not watching that. Back in the 80s, that would have been like rated R+. No, not happening. Seriously, come on. That's like the original Jurassic Park now would be like rated G somehow. Anyway.
You know what? Probably, because I remember watching Jurassic Park when I was like, God, when did the first one come out? Like
1993.
Yeah, I watched it. But
now I'm older than Rosita, so me and my friend went to see it when it came out. So because I was able to drive, I was older and old enough to drive there and go watch it. Back when every small town had a movie theater. Back then. Yeah, it was the summer of 1993.
That was
I had just graduated from high school. I was 18 years old. So, yeah, and so these lights, having flicker-free lights is important. And if it does not say that the lights are flicker-free, do not assume they are.
Yeah, no.
Because they're probably not. So what happened is I decided to buy some different lights, and I bought ones that are flicker-free. Most of the flicker-free lighting is designed for dimmers. But the nice thing is you just buy those dimmer lights that are flicker-free dimmer lights. Don't dim them. Just keep them all the way up. And then boom, you do. And the way you can tell is take your phone, all these new phones, even like this OnePlus phone does like 240 frames a second. Flicker-free means that it's consistent. So the way an LED works is an LED works by turning on and off and then on and off. The really low end ones do that about 30 times a second, which is not very good. And they don't do it well. The good ones do it about 60 times a second. Now, can they be better? Yes. Will they be? No. Why? Because your electricity in the US doesn't go above 60 hertz. So trying to get something that sets 120 or 240 hertz isn't going to help you. It's not going to work. It's just not going to happen. But if it's consistent at 60, when you're filming something with your phone at 240 frames a second, you won't see the flicker. As long as that 60 is consistent, an exact 60 per second. If it's flicker means that it doesn't have consistency in that on off. Mm-hmm. So, and then some will say, well, just buy incandescent lights. That doesn't help. Incandescent lights have flicker and they're even worse. So their flicker is not as bad as a bad LED, but they're consistently bad. Yeah. So that's why some will use also like, what do they call it? Lithium light? Is that it? It's the old school, like super bright, makes your room hot lights. Those are great. But again, makes your room hot. Don't do that. Use high-end LEDs, spend a little bit more money on your lights, on your regular room lights. It makes a huge difference.
It really does. And you in your work environment won't feel like a sauna.
And the thing is there's another thing about that. I realized that I was having like minor headaches, eye strain, and I didn't know what was going on. It's the flicker from the lights that you don't see. If you ever see a Christmas tree, when you go and look at Christmas trees in the store, and if you stare at it, look to see if you see it turning on and off. You can see a flicker in the Christmas tree. That's the LED flicker. Those are cheap lights, unless you're buying like a Balsam Hill tree for like $2,000. You're getting, they make like the best trees, but they also use high-end everything. When you're buying like the Home Depot tree for $150, you're not getting good lights. And that's okay for just Christmas time. You just don't want it in your room that you're teaching in.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't. And also too, that can also be a safety thing too, especially if you're teaching one-on-one online, like kind of like those flashy lights too. Any form of those flickers, depending on like how your lighting is too, it can really be emphasized and can cause dizziness as well for the student. So
and for and for you, because you're looking at it all day. Like I said, I was having I was just like, what is wrong with me? My eyesight was already getting worse because of my age. And I'm like, it doesn't need to get worse than this. And so then I realized that flicker was causing some of my problem. And there's more, there's so much more than just that, but that's one of the things that can cause a big issue. I mean, and it can cause mental health issues on top of that, because you don't know what's going wrong, and so just being very careful of that. Same thing on the monitor you're using. When you get a good monitor. Don't just go, oh, look, like it looks like Costco has monitors that are like 500 inches big and they're only $100. Let's buy that. Or a TV is cheaper than a monitor. No. I know a lot of teachers that use TVs connected to their computer. I did that because I thought that was a neat idea. I used that TV for about a month and I was like, nope, that was a huge waste of money. I'm buying a monitor. There's a reason computer monitors cost more than TVs, like a lot more. And it's because they're able to handle the signal better that's coming from the computer, and they do not flicker. They have a better screen. So say you buy a 4K TV and a 4K monitor. So I actually have a 2K monitor. My 2K monitor has a better picture than my 4K TV because it's a better quality thing. I mean, it costs almost as much as my 75-inch TV, and I have a 32-inch monitor. And it's only a 2K. So it does make a huge difference.
Yeah. Speaking of which, as you were talking about that, I just wanted to kind of like not necessarily reiterate, but kind of like just to clarify when I talked about like harsh lighting or like creating like harsh like shadows and stuff, that's more for like a bigger classroom.
Mm-hmm.
When in a home environment or like a small like say like conference room, we do want to avoid harsh shadows for a very, very similar reason.
Yeah.
So,
Perfect.
but yeah, it's there is a reason when it comes to, monitors versus TV. I think
Mm.
really the only way it would be okay to use a TV is like say that you are in a conference room, because most of the times they're going to have TVs over monitors.
Because they're bigger.
Bigger and
Yeah.
more economical.
Yeah.
Is when you're giving a presentation. So you're actually looking either at your iPad or tablet, or your computer, and then you're not really focusing like on that TV.
Right.
And it's good, for pictures. But that's really like the only, I guess, pro when using a TV is when you're giving a full-on room presentation, because more people will be able to see it because, in fact, it is bigger.
Yeah.
But if it's, if you're teaching like from home, or you're teaching, if you have like a home office or something, please invest in a good monitor, because
Yeah.
you'll physically feel the difference.
It is amazing. I was getting like I was having high
Oh,
end like that. This was a long time ago, so it was like a
oh,
1080p TV. So, am I still here?
yeah,
Did you
you're
lose me?
here. Okay. I don't know if it's for
I'm here.
you or on my
Okay,
end,
just making
because
sure.
it is storming where I'm at. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Well, let's see. Let me try that again. So, yeah, it was a while ago. So it was back when, you didn't even have 4K TVs, or if you did, you were really rich. So I had a 1080p TV I was using, and I thought that was a great idea because I was like, wow, I'm saving so much money. And I was getting headaches looking at it. And I was realizing that all the icons on the screen, even though I had a 1080p TV, were not clear. And then I would buy a monitor that's the same resolution, and everything was instantly clear. They're made to handle computer screens, so it really does. And another time where it could be useful, like say you teach in your living room, and you're not standing really close to your TV, and you're teaching an instrument like a violin or something like that. Like maybe not piano. In piano, you need to have something a little more permanent, and it's good to have a monitor in front of it, but. You could do that. Possibly that could work. But I generally suggest everyone always get that. And one other thing that monitors do that a TV does not do is it has blue light reduction built into most monitors today. That is extremely good for your health. Like you have to think about your eye health. Not just your mental health. Your eye health is very important. I mean, that blue light can deteriorate your vision much quicker. And I know it has other health issues. I don't really know everything. Like I have a Philips monitor, not just because my name is Philip. I didn't do that on purpose.
That was a great brand.
And it has
Shut up.
I love the Philips brand. It's a little bit cheaper than the other brands. Some people will diss it and go, well, I really need to buy X brand or Y brand because it's like I need to buy a Samsung. Like, great. Samsung monitors are wonderful, but I love this Philips monitor. It costs a little bit less. And the quality, like I said, it's a 2K monitor. What do they call it? 1440. It's a 1440. Generally, you don't need, again, 4K to teach with, but if you can get a 4K monitor, always get better. But always get better if you can, but
Yeah.
whatever. If you want to get an 8K monitor, that's on you.
Yeah.
It's on you to spend the
I haven't tried the 8K
$8,000.
yet. I don't know if I want to go there yet.
No.
No.
Well, I mean, as you get older like me, your eyesight deteriorates anyway, and it's not going to make any difference. So mine actually has on in the menu, it has an option to turn off the blue light reduction for gamers. So the problem with that is gamers need it more than anything, but gamers hate for the quality of the screen to be lowered. When you lower the blue light, it does lower the quality of the picture. So like if you're doing photography, unfortunately, you need to turn the blue light thing off. You need to have all the blue light. So you just need to be careful about how much time you spend in front of your monitor. How far away are you from your monitor? I'm about 4 to 5 feet from my monitor right now. I think Rosita is as well. That's an important thing to think about. Don't be this close to your monitor. It's very bad for the further away you are, the better. And this is not that just old wives' tale. It's like, if you keep sitting in front of the TV, you're going to go blind.
No,
like,
it's true.
well, no, you're not.
Well,
But
it's
you're
going
not
to
going to totally
deteriorate
go
your
blind. It is
eyesight
bad for
for
your
sure,
eyes.
and it's going to cause you like a lot of headaches.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So,
And there's no need for that.
no.
So give yourself some distance. Get a monitor where you can modify yourself. Mine has like 5 different levels of blue light reduction. I set mine on like the first or second like lowest, so that it still looks good on the screen, but lowers some of the blue. If you turn it all the way off, it just looks weird, because then you're turning off almost all the blue light, which means all the colors look wrong. Mm-hmm. Like, what color would my shirt be? Although it's not really blue, but still.
Like a tealish,
it's like aqua, green, teal, blue. Yeah, something like that. I'm bad with colors, so I wouldn't even know.
So basically,
somewhere between.
When it comes to lighting, one, we need consistent lighting. 2, watch out for your natural light versus artificial light. So one of the things that we did not talk about was that depending on where you live, now sometimes your natural light, that's maybe really all you need, but it is going to be unpredictable, hence weather, right? So if you're relying on natural light, you need artificial lighting and as a backup plan.
For when you need it. When you need it, yeah. Like you said.
Also, we want to avoid harsh shadows. Watch your color temperature. Match the color temperature of your lights to create more of a natural look. And there's going to be different, like warm colors, whiter colors, cold colors, etc. Your webcam exposure and its white balance. So we'll make sure that your webcam settings are able to adjust, your exposure and your white balance, and just your different lighting conditions. Sorry, I'm being distracted by the awesome just rain noise outside. It's so calming. It's like, yes.
Yeah, rain noise is great.
Your positioning of lights, your background lighting, if you're going to go into that, it will make your class visually more appealing. But please, if possible, invest in quality lighting equipment. I'm not saying go out for the most expensive thing, but I'm asking you, like, don't get like the $5 lights. Right?
Don't get a ring light, this little ring light that you put around your webcam that's that big, and yeah. Don't use those.
Like a really good one, and I'll put a link in the description. I love this UB size one. This is my traveling ring light. And then I also put it onto a tripod for like cameras and stuff. Works well with these lights. Some ring lights will come with their own tripods, but I find them to be a lot of times very flimsy. So, and with a tripod, you can adjust the height and such. I literally have like 8 ring lights.
And a lot of them, neither of us mentioned this. Most of them come with a little attachment. So if you want to use your phone, if you're using your phone, it'll like clamp your phone right in their exact right spot, just behind the light, so you get the exact right lighting with your phone, which is really cool. I didn't show that on mine. I don't even know where my clamp is for it because I haven't used it in forever. And it's usually a generic clamp that will hold any phone. It's not like specific to iPhones or Samsungs or anything.
See what I mean? Like I have like 8. I wasn't kidding. Hold on.
Yep.
So this is my traveling one. So as you can see, there's a little clamp here. that it came with it. And also some of them will, when you attach it to your phone, there's a little will come with a little remote, technical human difficulties. So you can just start the thing and change it, adjust the colors and stuff.
That's true. So like if you don't want to use if you're putting your phone in there, your phone can't exactly control the light. Yeah. If your phone is in there, that's a good point. It's like the one that I have did come with a remote, a fancy little tiny remote that the batteries are probably dead, but I'm just curious if the batteries are dead. Let me see. On.
Oh yeah,
yep, the batteries are dead.
Leave a link for this hour one because this is chargeable and I love it so much. Which I actually do need to charge it.
The one that I have, I don't think can take batteries. I've got another one that does take batteries. You can get large ones that take batteries, as well as the small ones, like that. And if you're not traveling, just pick one that you like. But don't go cheap. Yeah.
So yeah,
it's got different colors. A lot of these
cameras will have like its own like different shades of light. And trust me, I want you guys to play around with it to see what the best color is for you because it matters. It matters is what's one of the main things that's going to make you look professional. And the more that I can show a little bit of mine real quick for here. I see that once I turn it on, then I will change my transitions because I don't want anybody to have a issue. Like that's it. Like not even turned all the way up. These things get very bright when you get the big ones. Like turn it all the way up. The thing is, the great thing about, this is another great thing about the Logitech Brio is you can't even tell that I turned the light up. I just turned it way down, way down. I just love the Brio. It's so good at doing that. Now, if the light's behind it, it can accommodate very well. And then of course I can, as we said, whoops, no, sorry for anyone that saw that. That was by accident. I totally did not mean to do that. I'm awake now.
It wasn't supposed to do. Okay, there it is. So as she just showed, you can do different colors and this green, I can do red, which is very odd. Light blue, purple-ish.
It's not odd at all because like, again, depending on your work environment, and also skin color. I mean, we need some depending on like some people will require more red so we can pop out a little bit more in camera. Some of us may need that extra warmth or we sometimes even blue, just depending where you are. Certain colors is going to help you or enhance. So
perfect.
We should
and then next time we will
favorite
talk
lights
about that
and we'll create like a nice little kind of like a budget way. So
yeah, because I don't have a lot. I just have this one, the Wii light that I like, and I have another brand that I think is the one you mentioned in another room.
UB size.
This is the exact same brand you had. I think that's one of the other lights that I have. I really like this one, this Wii light. It's absolutely amazing. I don't even know if they still make it. I have not looked it up recently. Who knows? They could be out of business for all I know. It's easy to find out. Wii light. Oh yeah, they still make them.
Awesome. I need to put a wire.
Yes, Wii light. I think it's an Indian company actually. I think. It could be a Chinese company. Actually, you know what? Interesting. I think it's an Indian company, except that on the app, it gives me two options at the top, English or Chinese.
Oh.
In Chinese, but I know it says Chinese. So.
You recognize kanji. It's like, hey, you recognize kanji.
Yeah. Well, obviously. I mean, it's pretty easy to see it. You can see at the top. It shows that at the top. You see the kanji at the top. Oh, it's so blurry. There you go.
You see it. It was focused for a moment, so it was good.
Looks like a picture of a little man holding up a board.
And that's, my friend, how we.
But yes, they make a ton of stuff. Yes. I know in Chinese the kanji for boy is like a stick figure. It's really that simple. It's a stick figure of a boy. For a girl, it's different. It's much harder, but
Well,
the
okay,
few little ones I
fair.
learned.
I can't say anything because I do write. Well, I write in Japanese. でも, ちょっと,
Yeah.
no, I need kana. どこある? No, yes, here you go. oh, hey, no, not Korean kana. I'm having issues. Oh, that's why I'm in the wrong one. There we go. For us in Japanese, that's man. So it looks like a man running.
Okay, yeah. I was like, so I think man is similar in China. I don't remember. It's been too long since I learned it. Yeah, it was similar in Mandarin, but like, and then for boy, it was like there was less to it. Basically, it was like a watered down version.
Yeah.
Yes, nowhere near that difficult.
And welcome to kanji class. All right. Yeah. So
yes,
quickly, let's talk about the words today. Synchronous.
we're talking about
synchronous learning and asynchronous learning.
Yes.
Yes, that thing.
Which we can even make more of that next time too. We'll talk more about that
because we both
because there's so much to talk about there.
Yeah.
Right. And
how would you
synchronous
define
is
them?
mostly what for me, synchronous is like, am I teaching a private lesson online? Do I have a person on the other end on Zoom or Forte or whatever that I am teaching a lesson to of some kind, like as if they were in my room with me? Where the asynchronous would be like me making a YouTube video, or if I you make a Kajabi course and put it on my website. Which we can talk about Kajabi and other options besides that next time, because Kajabi is a little expensive for teachers. You know, it's great for people that have tens of thousands of followers and all of them are paying them money.
And the argument with that is that we are all teachers from Kajabi.
Mm.
And I'm like,
that's the problem.
You're a form of a lot of the people.
It's true. So the people that use Kajabi and are successful, it does require getting enough people to take whatever the course is just to pay for Kajabi itself.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate. But if you have a course that you're able to charge enough, say $100 or $200 per person for a course, and you have a large number of people doing it, then Kajabi is that's the number one site for doing any of this. It's the go-to site. All the higher end people doing courses are using mostly Kajabi, and they leave all the others because it's better.
Yeah, I would call them, honestly, it's more for coaching, for those that are coaches or instructors who help people in a particular skill. Whereas a teacher, a teacher or a professor, where a teacher is an instructor, but they teach more in like an academic environment, such as like a form of school, than anything else when we get to
so asynchronous is more for when the student is really trying to help themselves learn and utilizing information that you might have, and you can do both. You can do both. You can teach people in person and then still say, hey, you know what? I've got all of this other information. Utilize this as well while you're not in class.
Yeah. So you said,
and you can even utilize other people's stuff.
Yeah. So essentially, like synchronous learning is just real-time learning. It's just you're meeting your instructor, you're meeting your coach or teacher at a particular time, a specific time, for I would live lecture for ooh, that's good. Yeah, live lecture.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and then for asynchronous, it's most of the time it's no, not most. It's pre-recorded content that we can just put on like our sites or stuff like in Kajabi or other like course platforms, online course platforms. Those are actually
Course creation platforms, yeah,
course
like
creation.
and like I said, there are loads other. There's one we were testing called Modern. It is it's good for the price. I will say for the price it is phenomenal. There are issues and some difficulties in it, but there are going to be when you're spending like $40 for a lifetime subscription to something where Kajabi costs a lot more than that per month. So it's expensive to do that kind of thing. But if you can afford Kajabi, it's a lot more user friendly. So a lot of people love Udemy, but the issue I have with that is there are a zillion people on it with the exact same thing that you're already doing. And you say, but I've got something. No, it's already been done on Udemy. Everybody's done it. It's so overpacked. I like the idea of something when it's asynchronous now of having it on my own personal website because it gives that personal touch. You're not going to the udemy.com, whatever it is, where you do that. You're like, it's like I'm just going to this site. So this site is teaching me. If I go to philipfullerton.com or rositaruiz.com or whatever, if you have a website, I don't even know if you have a website.
And it's in fact rositaruiz.com. So you nailed it.
I guessed it exactly right. So you go there and that's where it could be placed. Now things like Modern, they simplify things where if you want it to be on their site, it can be. It's just this really, really, really long name that give you, but it works. And it does what you need it to. And you can always have a link from your site to it. So there's always ways of doing it. And there's always better ways sometimes. So maybe we can talk more about that next time. So we can talk about
actually it's in one of our like online businesses. So like guys, as a reminder, like this whole podcast is all about like ed tech. This is all about teacher training, and it's also about online business, like specifically online teaching businesses. So if you're planning to do like a tutoring business, if you're planning to do a coaching business, we're here to help educators. And also we're here to help students as well, because we're teachers. We are our instructors. And we spent years in online teaching. So we have the experience, we have the knowledge, and like with our experience combined, we mentioned this in our first episode, we cover from like all platforms. So from online teaching from both of us, and also like with my experience in, school classrooms and different learning environments. I mean, we got you covered. We really have you guys covered.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them in the comments below. And if there's a topic that you want us to talk about, please let us know. And please don't forget to subscribe, follow, check out our social medias, help the teachers out. Yeah.
Yeah, leave this running like all the way through once a day. You just like hit play after you've watched it and then just leave the room and let it play through, Yeah,
it'd be educational background noise.
Yes, you can, and that, or if you really want, I don't care, turn the volume all the way off. You've already heard it once. Just let it play through. Why? Because it adds an extra hour to
4,000 watch time hours. Please and thank you.
Yes,
we're brand new.
Yes, if you don't, we're going to create one
spanking new. Ow. So
if you don't, we're going to create one of those Shepherd Tone videos that go on for 8 hours and ask you to watch that.
No. He will. No, I won't. No obviously, videos. I'm the nice one.
Yeah. Shepherd tones are fun to listen to. They're not.
All right, we need to prepare for our classes. So thank you guys so much for watching. Right. Thank you guys so much for listening. And until the next episode, we'll see you guys later. Bye, everyone.
Yep. See ya.
Bye.